So I've just saw that Xbox with its ever so deep pockets has just done another acquisition and picked up Activision / Blizzard. And I was like, do you know what? I need to do a quick video on this. Mainly because a lot of people will see that kind of news, and especially when they've been purchasing studios in the past, it angers people and they're worried that the same way I am when Amazon starts buying up mini companies. I'm like, oh, and Google starts buying companies that I like Nest and Fitbit. I'm like, oh, do you know what I mean? It's horrible when a giant company starts to consume smaller studios. But I may be one of the few people where I'm like, yay, this is good news. And I kind of hope that they make all of the Activision / Blizzard games exclusive. That much so, I actually hope they buy Ubisoft and EA and make them exclusive. Well, burn most of the games, but nonetheless, I want them all exclusive, and I'll tell you why. Now, I assume what's going to happen is with this takeover is eventually, maybe 3-4 years down the line, they're going to become exclusive. So what originally is an Activision game, so for instance COD, I've got a feeling it could become a exclusive for Xbox. Reason being, obviously, they took over Bethesda, and the first words was, oh, no, don't worry, nothing is going to be exclusive. And then a year or two later, they're like, actually, what you knew about, you get to keep. But all the other stuff, they're going to start being exclusive moving forwards. So that means Xbox has now obviously got Starfield as its first proper exclusive from the studio. We do have Ghostwire and Deathloop, which are both PlayStation titles, but that contract was already set in cement before Xbox took over. So the point was, Xbox did a merger, said it wasn't going to be exclusive, then it started to become exclusive. And also, it's just, like, I get them buying their company because they're still going to make money even if PlayStation are playing those games. But I've got a feeling they're going to become exclusives and pulled into the Game Pass universe. But coming back to why I want Xbox to buy up all these studios is mainly because I'm not that interested in those games. In fact, let's just jump over here. Looking at I know obviously we're doing Activision. We'll do Activision first, but like Activision, Call of Duty, Tony Hawk's banger. I can't complain. You got Tony Hawk's and Crash. But if you was to say in a pinch, we're gonna take all these games out of existence, I'd be like, I ain't bothered. Go with the Blizzard as well. I'm not particularly bothered. Diablo, I enjoyed. Overwatch, I enjoyed what I played of that. I'm not mad enough to go down the World of Warcraft route because I know that game is crack and I don't want to get a habit like that, so I never touched it. And then in Ubisoft is just trash at the moment. Just Dance is the only thing I'm probably playing from the Ubisoft universe. I wanted to get Just Dance 2022 because of Kendrick's new song's on there. Not Kendrick, Todrick's new song is on there. But then I realised nothing else has changed. It is the same game, just with an extra 10 songs, and you have to buy the subscription to get the other 200 songs. So I might as well keep my 2-year-old game and pay for the subscription and get my 200 songs. There's no point buying it. So in other words, what Ubisoft do is trash. Far Cry used to be chef's kiss. I played all of them. I've played 5 twice. Could not get into it because it's just the Ubisoft go and clear out this stronghold. Rinse and repeat. 6 I was excited for. I was like, maybe they've gone back to basics, jumped into it. Within the first 2 days, the spell had gone over me and I was like, oh, this is a really good game. And then 3 and 4 days later, it's like, it's just a load of crap again. So I sold it. Assassin's Creed, I ain't touched it for ages. I know a lot of people are saying Valhalla's decent, but I also don't know anyone's actually completed Valhalla because they all go, yeah, it's good, but kind of fizzle out of it because there's too much repetitive crap to be doing. And then we've got obviously a couple of, like, Beyond Good and Evil, the only game on there that excites me, and I don't think we'll ever see it ever. And then we've got Horse. Well, yeah, there's a banger that I don't want to lose. And then let's go over to EA, which is just stale as shit. Lost in Random, I want to try, but this isn't EA. This is EA snatching up these small indie studios once a year and give us a little banger like that, and it takes 2. Apart from that, Battlefield, I'm not bothered about. Madden, NHLs, Medal of Honor, FIFA's, Need for Speed, Mass Effect, not bothered. And the point of all this is not that these are bad games. Not at all. There's some fantastic games. I really enjoyed Battlefields in the past. I've enjoyed pretty much all it. Plants vs. Zombies, when that was first announced, I was like, wow, this is wicked. And the point is, I don't want to keep playing the same games. And I'm ever so bored now by third parties and the AAA shit that's being put out. Nothing excites me because we're playing the 18th version of a game. So coming back to why I want to see these exclusive is because if Microsoft was to take them and go, they're now Xbox exclusives. And I don't think that would happen instantly. I don't think it will happen with every single IP. And I don't think it will happen for maybe 3 to 4 years. But what I want is the fear that it could. Because then PlayStation's going to have to go, we're going to have to make some of these titles ourselves now if they're going to get taken away from us. Now, I, at the moment, originally started as an Xbox user and I've moved over to PlayStation. I have both. I play both, but I would say I'm more team PlayStation at the moment. But the point is, PlayStation, I like their games more, but we are quite heavy on third-person kind of sandbox games. We haven't got any first-person shooters or anything like that. So for COD to be taken away would make PlayStation going, we need a kind of COD knockoff. And I don't even need the online competitiveness, but I am talking about just me. I'd just like to have a story-driven FPS. Give me like a Crisis or something like that, one of them kind of things, but with the PlayStation kind of twist. So I want to see PlayStation panic and start making some new IPs. Like what they're making at the moment, I think is fantastic. But if you was to take a load of stuff away from them, it would force them to make more. And this is my problem with gaming at the moment. I've just become incredibly bored of the major studio stuff. Like we said, we've just gone through EA, UB, Activision and Blizzard. I ain't bothered about them games. Doesn't mean they're bad games. It means I've played them all to death. And I don't want to play the 17th, 18th and 19th version of those games. I've just got an Xbox for Christmas and there's a video coming up about that. And when I jumped into that, I jumped straight into Horizon. Now, Horizon is a damn good game. But I'm not that bothered about playing it. Mainly because I've played it. I've played it to death. I've played all the previous ones. And the problem with it is they perfected it pretty early on. So it was always a good game. So now I'm playing this good game, but this time it's in Mexico. And I'm like, again, it's a fantastic game. But I've played it previously. This time we just got a new lick of paint and a different location. I'm hungry for new IPs. That's what I want now. So I'm not bothered if Microsoft wants to buy up a big studio or if Sony wants to buy up a big studio. I hope they all do. Some people are in the mindset that exclusives are bad, but I think they are good personally. If an exclusive is for one camp, it makes the other camp have to make an equivalent, which just means we get more games, especially if you're lucky enough to have both consoles. Now, I know, obviously, if your IP is in one of these that gets swallowed up, say Call of Duty, and you are a PlayStation user, and if it did go to Xbox, that would annoy you. Completely, I understand that. I'm not saying this is for everyone. This is just one man's opinion. But I would love for it to happen. I want to see them swallow up more studios just so each other has to try and one-up each other. Because, quite frankly, I've been bored of gaming for a bit, but now I've jumped into indie and I can't stop now because this is where the fun's at. To just give you a list, I've just a couple of little bangers that I've played like since Christmas: Backbone, Artful Escape, Death's Door, Eastward, and Kenna. All of them are games that I can't compare with other games. I've played them, walked away and went, what a fantastic game. I already miss it, but I can't say, oh, that's very much like that, because they're just fresh. They're completely new. I'm personally to the point where even I can't think of any franchise that could last maybe 5 years without me getting bored of it. Over on PlayStation, obviously we've got Horizon Zero Dawn. It's been out, and now we're getting Forbidden West. So that's our second installment of the Horizon Zero Dawn franchise. I can't wait to play that. I'm a little bit worried that it might be a bit too similar to the first. It looks like we've got some extra mechanics in there to make me go, oh, this is fresh. This can justify a new game. But personally, even without playing it, I'm like, probably 2's enough for me. I don't need a 3 or a 4 or a 5. Like 2 games is enough. You've got God of War. Granted, it's had a reboot, so that is a long-going franchise, and I never jumped in on the early days. I've only jumped in on the latest one. So that's probably the only IP I can say that's been going for a long time that I'm interested in. We're obviously going to get the next game of that. Again, my brain's like, cool, I enjoyed your first reboot. Give me a second, and I'm probably about done. I'd rather you invest that money into a new IP and give me something fresh. Maybe give me 2 games out of that series, 3 at a push, or ideally just one. Just one self-contained. Here's a game, this universe, self-contained. Did you enjoy it? I hope you did. We're off to make something fresh and new. That's where I stand. So personally, I know it's not for everyone. Some people might be upset if something gets taken away from them. I get it. But at the same time, there's also something quite nice if they take something away. If you've only got one of the consoles, say PlayStation or an Xbox, if you're just on Xbox and something gets taken away and drops onto PlayStation, you haven't got PlayStation, the good thing is that's one extra game that you can get excited for in the future if you hopefully can afford to get a PlayStation. Because there's nothing worse than jumping into another console and going, cool, here's that one game. You want a catalogue of games to actually be playing. So if they could steal 1 or 2 away from you, then when you jump over there, you're like, oh, cool, I've got 4 games. So I don't know. You could spin it in different ways, but to me, I hope they become exclusive just to encourage creativity. Now, the other thing I want to talk about with it being Activision is obviously they've had all the bad press lately, and pretty much everyone's trying to ask for Bobby to step down. Now, this is the interesting thing. Just as I'm recording this now, IGN's just said that Bobby's not stepping down. I've not clicked the article, mainly because I don't really care for what he's said. It's just, I just don't trust news article websites anymore, and things change so quickly. So we'll see what happens. But the merger's not supposed to complete until 2023. So maybe Bobby will stay until 2023. But I think it's good for Activision / Blizzard, because obviously a lot of people are like, that brand now is tainted. And for it to go to Xbox, it's like it's getting a new mummy and daddy. It's getting new foster parents. And I think it makes us all go like, oh, cool, right? It doesn't wipe the slate clean, but it goes, okay, we've got somebody else in control of the ship now. Now, that works if Bobby ain't there. Now, I would assume Bobby's going to get a golden handshake and he's going to disappear off into the sunset with all his money. But I would also like Xbox to just be like, shoo, get gone, because their stance was, I can't remember what it was. They said something along with Sony and Nintendo, pretty much saying that obviously we don't like the way that things are running. We're going to have to reevaluate our relationship. We didn't know that meant we're going to buy it. But yeah, so I would like Xbox to shoo him out, which will make us all go, that's a nice, good move. And it makes us then have a bit more faith back in that brand, which has been damaged. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we stand with Bobby. Maybe Bobby, the reason he's not stood down is because he knew this sale was going to go and he wanted to complete the sale before he shoots off. I don't quite know. But yeah, it was very interesting. I can't believe the actual price it went for. Was it 69.5 million in the end, or 68.5 billion? Sorry, not million, billion, Jesus. Which is like a GDP for a small country, which is just ludicrous. But at the same time, I do know there's some incredibly lucrative IPs in there. Even just the King brand, which is, for people that don't know, quite a big mobile game pusher. And that nets like, I think it was 200 million a month just in like Android sales and stuff like that. So yeah, it seems to be an interesting purchase. I completely get people being upset by this, not just because your IP might be stolen, but the idea of a company getting bigger by swallowing up more things. If it happened and it was Amazon doing it or Google doing it, I would be quite angry, to be honest, because I just don't like that they're consuming up all the companies. So bit hypocritical that Xbox do it, and I'm like, yeah, you do it. But it's mainly because I am in the PlayStation camp, so I want to have these games taken away from there, mainly because there is no IP I care for, but there was good games, played them to death. Can somebody please have a crack at making these same games, but just with a fresh take on it? Put me in a new universe. I'm sick. I'm malnourished when it comes to new ideas, but luckily enough, the only person who wants to feed me at the moment is Inda, so I'm going to continue eating at that restaurant. So that's it. I'm going to just randomly do the video, stop, shoot back. I am in a blind panic. I'm in a blind panic. Did I actually press record? I don't know if I did. I don't know if I did. Move. Did I press record? Oh, I pressed record. Right, so that's a quick 15-minute rant. And also, hello, it's the first time I think I've done a video since that random one that I was doing on a walk. I will be doing more videos. I don't want to just be doing head videos like this. I want to put a little bit more effort into it. So at the moment, I'm writing a script, two scripts for one about E3 and another one about Xbox. They should be hopefully coming within the next 2 weeks. But either way, it's nice to see you. Say hello to your mum for me. And I hope to catch you in a week or two. Also, if you do have an opinion on this, I should be pretty much streaming every night after 7 o'clock. So if you're in the UK and it's 7 and you want to voice your opinions instead of just saying it in the comments, come catch me on Twitch, have your 2 cents, and I can say, I completely disagree. But to be fair, I quite like to receive other people's views, and I'm like, actually, that's a good point. So yeah, come and say what you think, and I shall catch you next week. Toodle!